At first, I tried to be understanding. Relationships take time and energy, and I knew Stephanie was trying to balance her career with her new romance. Still, it was hard not to notice how quickly things were shifting. Hannah would ask, "When is Aunt Stephanie coming over again?" And I never had a good answer. I could see the disappointment in her eyes every time I told her I wasn't sure. By the time Stephanie and Richard got engaged, the distance between us had grown into a gulf I didn't quite know how to bridge. Conversations that once flowed easily became brief, polite exchanges. Stephanie began talking less about family and more about Richard's friends, his vacations, and the events they attended together. It was as if she was slipping into a new world, one that didn't have much room for Hannah or me. Still, when the wedding invitation arrived, I held on to hope. I imagined Hannah standing proudly beside me, watching her beloved aunt walk down the aisle. I even thought Hannah might be asked to play a special role, maybe a junior bridesmaid, or at least given a chance to read something during the ceremony. After everything we had been through together, after all the years Stephanie had been more like a second mother than just an aunt to Hannah, I truly believed she would never exclude her. But then I saw it, only my name, printed neatly in elegant calligraphy. No +1, no, and family, just Amanda. When I called Stephanie, my voice was shaky, but I tried to keep my composure. I asked why Hannah wasn't included. Stephanie's tone was clipped, almost rehearsed. "Sorry, Amanda, the wedding is adults only. No one under 18 is allowed." For a moment, I couldn't even process what she had said. I sat there staring at the invitation, my heart pounding. "No one under 18? I repeated, my voice trembling. "Steph, she's your niece. She adores you. She's been waiting for this day almost as much as you have." There was silence on the other end, followed by a sigh. "It's Richard's family's preference. They want a certain kind of atmosphere. You know how these events are." Her words cut deeper than she probably realized. A certain kind of atmosphere, as if Hannah's presence, my sweet, kind, respectful daughter, would somehow ruin their perfect picture. I wanted to argue, to remind her of everything Hannah meant to her, of all the memories they shared, of the way she used to light up when Hannah walked into the room, but my throat closed up. All I could manage was a choked, "I never thought you'd do this to her." After we hung up, I sat in silence, clutching the phone in my hand. Hannah walked into the room moments later, her face hopeful. "Did Aunt Stephanie say what I'm supposed to wear for the wedding?" she asked brightly. I couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth, not right away. Instead, I pulled her into a hug, holding her tighter than usual. I could feel tears stinging my eyes as I whispered, "We'll talk about it later, sweetheart." That night, I barely slept. Memories of Stephanie and Hannah together flashed through my mind: cookie baking Saturdays, mall photo booths, birthday shopping trips. How could those moments mean so little to her now? The next morning, I knew I had a choice: protect my daughter from yet another rejection, or confront Stephanie head-on. And if I was going to fight for anything, it was going to be Hannah's right to be seen, loved, and included. I have no problem being civil to Stephanie and Richard, but I need to know that Hannah will be treated with respect. I will not put her through another rejection. Of course, she will be treated with respect, my mother insisted firmly, as though saying it aloud would make it true. "It is Christmas. Everyone is welcome at Christmas." "That is not what I asked," I pressed, my voice tight with frustration. "I need to know that Stephanie and Richard acknowledge they hurt Hannah, and that they will make an effort to make amends." On the other end of the line, I heard my mother sigh heavily, the kind of sigh that carried years of exhaustion from being the peacekeeper between her children. "Amanda, you are asking for too much. Stephanie does not feel she did anything wrong regarding the wedding. It was their special day, and they had the right to plan it as they wished." Her words stung, but I refused to back down. "And I have the right to protect my daughter," I countered sharply, my free hand balling into a fist. "No one is asking you not to protect Hannah," my mother said, her tone edging into frustration, "but carrying this grudge is not healthy for anyone, especially not Hannah. Do you really want her to grow up thinking that family relationships can be discarded over one disagreement?" Her question hung in the air, sharp and uncomfortable. She had a point, though I was reluctant to admit it. Deep down, I wondered if I was using Hannah as a shield to avoid confronting my own hurt. Stephanie hadn't just excluded Hannah from her wedding, she had excluded me too, in a way, by erasing part of my family from her new, polished life, and maybe I hadn't let go of that pain. But still, how could I pretend everything was fine when my daughter's feelings had been trampled so carelessly? Was I teaching Hannah to forgive, or was I teaching her that she didn't matter? I will think about it, I finally said, my voice quieter now, weighed down by conflict. But I need to talk to Hannah first. This has to be her decision, too. After hanging up, I stood in the hallway for a long moment, staring at the familiar photos on the wall: Hannah's kindergarten graduation, a family vacation to the Grand Canyon, Stephanie and me as kids in matching Christmas pajamas. 1,000 memories pressed against me, reminding me of everything that had been lost and everything still at stake. I took a deep breath and walked into Hannah's room. She was sprawled across her bed, her textbooks spread around her like a fortress, carefully gluing pieces of cardboard together for a science project. "Hey, sweetheart," I said softly, easing myself onto the edge of her bed. "Can we talk for a minute?" She looked up, adjusting the glasses she wore when she worked on close-up projects. "Sure, what's up?" I hesitated, choosing my words carefully. "Grandma called about Christmas Eve. They're doing the usual family gathering at their house. Aunt Stephanie and Richard will be there." Hannah froze mid-glue, her expression unreadable. She blinked once, then asked, "Oh, are we going?" "That's what I wanted to talk to you about," I explained. "I think this should be your decision. If you're not comfortable going, we can start our own Christmas tradition this year. Maybe go skiing for the weekend or take a trip to visit Aunt Judy in California. Whatever you want." Hannah set down her project and sat back, her brows furrowed in thought. She was quiet for a long moment, picking absently at the blanket on her bed. "Will Aunt Stephanie even want me there after, the whole wedding thing?" "Grandma says everyone is welcome," I replied carefully, my chest tightening. "But I also understand if you're hesitant. You don't owe anyone anything." "I don't want to cause drama," Hannah admitted softly, "but I also don't want to miss Christmas with Grandma and Grandpa. And," her voice caught slightly before she finished, "I miss Aunt Stephanie, even if she's been weird lately." My heart ached at her words. Despite everything, Hannah's love for her aunt was still there, pure, uncomplicated, and hopeful. It made me both proud and protective. "What if we go, but have a backup plan?" I suggested. "If things get uncomfortable, we can leave early. Maybe catch a late movie or drive around and look at Christmas lights. Just you and me." Hannah's lips curled into a small smile. "I like that idea. A secret escape plan." "Exactly," I said, smiling back. "Operation Christmas Exit." She giggled softly, the sound like a balm to my heavy heart. Then she grew serious again. "But, can we practice what to say if Richard is mean again? I don't want to freeze up." "Absolutely," I agreed, reaching for her hand. "We'll come up with some polite but firm responses. And remember, if at any point you want to leave, just give me the signal. A look, a squeeze of my hand, whatever you want, and we're out of there, no questions asked." Hannah squeezed my hand in return. "Okay, let's do it." As I sat there beside her, I realized this Christmas wasn't just about family gatherings or traditions. It was about teaching my daughter how to stand tall in the face of rejection, and reminding her that no matter what, she would never face it alone.